All right. Welcome back, folks, to World Wrestling Tube. This is night two WrestleMania predictions. If you want to watch night one, feel free to go back into the YouTube channel, check it out. It was posted yesterday. And of course, while you're there, might as well like and subscribe to the content. Helps us out immensely. But we're going to jump right into the WrestleMania night two predictions. Let's start off with the singles match between LA Knight and AJ Styles. Interesting build up. I enjoyed the fight at the house, at AJ Styles' house. They actually just had a little bit of a brawl in Philadelphia at WWE World, so that was pretty interesting. I think this was a good spot for LA Knight. I think he lost a little bit of steam following Crown Jewel, which is understandable. Not a lot of superstars can recover from losing a title match, but LA Knight can. But I also think The Rock's emergence kind of took a little bit of the wind out of the sails of the promo, the fanfare that LA Knight brings. But managed to put some good stuff together here. I also liked when he was dressed up as the security guard or as the cameraman during SmackDown, when AJ Styles was all paranoid and looking around for him. I think this is a great spot for LA Knight. I think he wins this match. AJ Styles, by the way, is absolutely yoked lately, absolutely shredded. So good work for him. I saw something saying that he's getting to the point where he's worried he's going to embarrass himself in the ring. I find that to be completely foolish. AJ Styles can wrestle a broomstick and put on a 5-star match, but I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to say LA Knight wins this one. I think LA Knight needs this more than AJ Styles does. AJ Styles can walk into SmackDown in a few nights or Raw in a few nights, and he could be right in a main event picture challenging a champion. So I think this one goes to LA Knight, and we'll see where he goes from here. The next matchup would be a Philadelphia street fight, which at first when I saw that, I thought it's kind of gimmicky, kind of house show stuff there, but I think it's nice to get Montez Ford in the card. I'm a big Montez Ford guy. So, yeah, so this will be the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley going up against the Final Testament, which will be Karrion Kross and Akeem and Razar. Yeah, I want to be into Karrion Kross. I really do. I want to be on that hype train. I can't do it right now. I think this is going to be a good match. I think this is their one. It's their answer to the chaos of the ladder match on night one. And it's also a little bit of a tip of the cap with the Philadelphia street fight with Paul Heyman going into the Hall of Fame, AEW, all the AEW, geez, ECW. Thank God. Paul, well, maybe if Paul Heyman was with AEW, they'd be doing better off. But anyway, I think it's a tip of the cap to ECW and to Paul Heyman with the Philadelphia street fight. I think this will, just like the ladder match, there will be a ton of chaos. This match doesn't have a ton of juice, but again, whenever you pull a table out from under the ring, which I'm sure they'll do more than once in this match, the crowd's going to be excited. The crowd's going to approve. I could see Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits winning this one in a lot of the matches or a lot of the segments or what have you leading up to this. It's always seemed like the Final Testament has got the upper hand. We haven't really seen the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley win out at all. So I think they win here. And honestly, too, I hope Bobby Lashley, after this, I hope they find something for him to do on the card. I mean, he has been absolutely criminally underused. So hopefully they find a way to use him. And I would like to see by next year's WrestleMania, I would like to see Montez Ford as a singles competitor. I think it's time. I think he could do some damage. I'd like to see him on the mic. I'd like to see him do some more mic work, but I would be excited to see Montez Ford rising up as a singles competitor. But for now, he and his partner and Bobby Lashley are going to win against the Final Testament in the Philadelphia Street Fight. The next match we're going to go to is going to be the United States title match, and that's going to be Logan Paul, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens. I like this match, of course, too. This match is going to be a lot of fun. I think ultimately what we're going to get out of this is we're going to get the Randy Orton and Kevin Owens feud. For this being a triple threat match, we've seen them work together quite a bit leading up to this. You usually don't see a lot of that. So something's going to happen here in this match. Maybe they both go for a pin and realize, wait a minute, we're competing against each other. And that's how I think Logan Paul is going to sneak out a cheap win here because A, it's going to piss off the fans, and B, everybody's thinking, how could Logan Paul hang onto the title when he's in the ring with Kevin Owens and Randy Orton? But that's what WWE does. I think they have a little bit more social media juice to squeeze out of the Logan Paul title run. I don't think he hangs on to it till SummerSlam. I know SummerSlam is in Ohio. It's in Cleveland, which is where he's from, so it's a big deal for him. I don't know if he holds on to the U.S. title till then, but again, I think he retains in this matchup. I think it's going to be one hell of a matchup. And one thing is abundantly clear. Randy Orton is going to hit an RKO out of nowhere on Logan Paul that we will be talking about for a long, long time, reminiscent of, say, Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 31 when he went for the curb stop and Randy Orton turned it into an RKO. We're going to see something wild like that. But yes, Logan Paul will retain. I do see a title change, though, coming, and it's coming up next. It's Io Sky going up against Bayley, former Damage Control partners. I'll say this as a Bayley fan. I talked about Bobby Lashley being criminally underused. This particular match feels like it has no juice. It feels like they have put little to no effort in it. Yes, they've had segments on the show, but I don't know. It's just, when you look at Rhea and Becky, that match has some juice, and it's got some juice recently too. It took a while. It was a slow start, but it built up. Um, there's not a lot of juice going into this one, but I think Bailey's ultimately going to win. I think it's time. I also think, speaking of Bailey being underused, this program being underused, Io Sky is champion. Really, can you think about any great matches that she's had? And that's not her fault. That's a matter of the booking. So I do think Io loses the title here, though. I obviously do not think this is the last we're going to see of this feud. This will extend into Backlash, of course, just like a lot of other WrestleMania matches. But I'm going to give this one to Bayley. And no, we will not see the hugger. Not yet. Maybe one day, but not yet. Hopefully, Paramore is there to sing out Bayley and faithful to the Bay, Bayley. So Bayley with the win. Bayley wins her championship, has her WrestleMania moment. Up next is the World Heavyweight Championship match. If you watched the show yesterday when I did my night one predictions, I talked about how this is going to be a rough night for Seth Rollins, a rough weekend, because they're going to lose night one, and that's going to force bloodline rules in the Cody Rhodes Roman Reigns match, which we'll get to in a moment. I think he's going to be the one to get pinned by The Rock. And then I think we're going to go into this match here, and I think things will be looking up for Seth Rollins at first, but it's going to change. CM Punk, of course, is going to be at ringside there at the announce table. I don't know how physical he's going to get, but I'm sure he's going to be involved. Drew McIntyre gets exactly what he's wanted all along. He wants a WrestleMania match, a top tier WrestleMania match in front of a sold out stadium. He's getting that this weekend. Good for him. And congrats to Drew, honestly, on the best heel work, the best work of his entire career. He's used social media throughout this WrestleMania, road to WrestleMania, like none other. So kudos to him. I'm hoping that contract extension is done. But here's what's going to happen in this match. We're going to see, in some form of fashion, Punk is going to cost Drew the match, whether it's just distracting Drew long enough because Drew is going to lose focus on the main task at hand. He's going to want to get his hands on Punk. This will allow Seth Rollins to be opportunistic. He's going to hit a curb stomp. And at first, we're going to see a Seth Rollins victory. I know everybody wants to see Drew win. I do want to see Drew win, but I think we're going to see some bloodline involvement in this one because it's not going to be enough for them to win that match on night one. It's not going to be enough for the bloodline to have bloodline rules in the main event on night two. They're still going to want another piece of Seth Rollins. I think they come down after this match, whether it's The Rock as well, whether it's just Solo Sikoa, whether it's Uso, they're going to come down and they're going to put Seth Rollins in a bad, bad way. And yes, I think we're finally going to see it. I think we're going to see a cash in from Damien Priest. And I think Damien Priest walks out as the heavyweight champion. I don't think he hangs on to the title very long. I think people are going to hate this, but this is what I feel like is going to happen. Because if he doesn't cash in now, when is he cashing in? Is he cashing in on a lesser champion? I mean, we just see that with Austin Theory? I don't know I don't know how much longer we have to wait for Damian Priest to cash in. So I think we see the Damian Priest cash in. chaos and confusion. Seth Rollins takes a little bit of time off of TV. Drew McIntyre continues to jar at CM Punk until CM Punk's able to return. Then they will wrestle, whether that is Clash of the Castle or whether it's SummerSlam, what have you. We're ultimately going to see that match. And I think this is planting a tremendous seed for that feud. But again, not the outcome we're expecting. Damien Priest is going to walk out of WrestleMania as the world heavyweight champion. People are going to think it's shades of Jack Swagger or something, but I digress. Then we're going to go to the final match, the main event, Roman Reigns against Cody Rhodes. It's going to be Bloodline Rules. I mean, is there any other way? That's why we all know that's how that match is going to end on night one. It's going to force Bloodline Rules, continue to stack the odds against Cody Rhodes. And that's the question. You just saw the graphic on the screen. Is it time? Is it time for Cody Rhodes? And I hear a lot of prediction shows. I hear a lot of people, and a lot of people say, it's time. You have to. They have to at this point. They have to. They don't have to. WWE does not have to put the title on Cody Rhodes. A lot of people probably thought the same thing last year. They just think it more so now because of the loss last year. But I think, yes, I do think, even though I think there's a fine line in doing it correctly, I do think we're going to see other legends get involved. We just heard too many rumblings about it. John Cena, Stone Cold Steve Austin. There's going to be some involvement from them to aid Cody Rhodes when everything's stacked against him with these Bloodline Rules, because Seth Rollins is, after losing the heavyweight championship and losing that one at WrestleMania, that's going to be planting some serious seeds for a potential feud with Cody Rhodes. That's what I think is going to happen. Do we see that turn at WrestleMania in the main event? I used to think so initially. Now I'm not so sure. Maybe a couple nights after WrestleMania. Maybe then. Maybe after Seth takes some time off, because we know he's got that back injury he's been dealing with. But this is storytelling. They're planting the seeds for a story while they're maybe finishing a story. So I don't think we're going to see Seth Rollins too much in this main event, get too active. Ultimately, what I think happens here, I think Roman Reigns wins. I'm going to be honest. I'm a Roman Reigns guy, but I also love Cody Rhodes. If Cody Rhodes wins, there will be no tears shed here. I'll be thrilled for him, elated. I have this feeling that for whatever reason, WWE wants Roman to surpass Hulk Hogan. And he'll be, I forget how many, but he's going to be a couple dates shy of Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania. That's for third all time and the longest reigning champion. So I think they're going to keep the title on Roman Reigns here. And when he drops it, I don't know. I don't know. Do you do this again with Cody Rhodes? Do you do it for a third time? You could. People say, "Oh, you can't." Well, people said he couldn't lose last year, Cody Rhodes, and he did. People are going to say he can't lose this year, and I think he's gonna. So maybe you do a third WrestleMania match between them. I don't know. We also got to remember now we're also going to plant the seeds for The Rock and Roman Reigns, and when does that happen? So for now, I think Roman Reigns is going to walk out of Philadelphia as the champion. I think things are going to be looking great. When the legends come down to help Cody Rhodes, I think everybody's going to think this is finally time. This is it. This is it. We're going to see it. We're going to see it. And then our hearts are going to be shattered. Roman Reigns wins. He's going to WrestleMania 41, likely in Minnesota, as your champion. But yeah, that's it, guys. That's all I've got. Those are my predictions. Feel free to comment below with your thoughts. And also, please feel free to like and subscribe to the comment. Until next time, stay thirsty, be kind to one another. We'll catch you on the flip side. Cheers.